Hello, fellow Scratchers! I'm Griffpatch, and can you believe it? This is my 100th official YouTube video. Wow, it's amazing! What's more, it's been almost 4 months since I last posted an update on our tile-scrolling Aka Mario tutorial. That just won't do, so for the many of you who are desperately thirsting for another episode, prepare to be quenched. Can I just take a moment to plug my channel's Inner Circle membership, because with that level you actually get full access to the finished projects. It is also an awesome way to catch up before starting the next episode. What we are going to be adding today are Mario's Star Power power-ups. Yeah, this is a really fun one, because for a limited time, Mario transforms into a colourful killing machine. No Goomba, Koopa or Piranha can stand in our path. And as well as this most excellent addition, we'll also be adding a whole raft of other niggling bugs. Wait, what? No! We'll also be addressing a whole raft of other niggling bugs and missing features that we never really got round to sorting. Until now. But before we begin, if you remix the starter asset project before this episode came out, then you'll need to find the asset project now. It's linked under this video. And in the Sounds sprite, take a look at the Sounds tab. If you scroll down to the bottom, you'll find 2 new sounds. Star Power. Oh yeah, we need that. So make sure your backpack is open and drag that sound in. And the other new sound is the Course Clear jingle. And we need that too. Drag it into your backpack. Okay guys, here we go. Open up your tile scrolling project from episode 19. And we'll begin, as we always do, by saving this as a new copy, for this is episode 20. Wow, are you ready? Okay then, let's get scratching. So first, let's add a missing feature. It's been often pointed out to me that these mushroom power-ups should not be standing still. No, after they sprout, they have a life of their own and should shoot off across the level. Well, we have enemy movement scripts already in place, so this shouldn't be hard. Click into the enemy sprite and find the Define Tick Goomba script. So these scripts here, from the Change Speed Y to the Move Sprite X, are all handling enemy movements. This is all very generic movement across all walking enemy types, so let's wrap it up in a custom block to make it easy to use again. Make a new block named General Move. With an input Accelerate X, I'm going to abbreviate that to ACX for short, a label Max X, followed by another input Max. Now run without screen refresh, and we are done. So the movement scripts can be stuffed on the end of this new define block, and we'll make use of the new block from where we took these scripts a moment ago. Okay, so let's match up the block input values. The acceleration is given by the change speed x by 0.1 there. So plug that value 0.1 into the general move block here. Next, drag the input ACX, accelerate x, over the 0.1 in the define script. Great, now this less than 1 is the maximum speed of the enemy. Plug that value into the max x of the move block. And again, pop the max input variable over the less than 1. Okay, that's almost done, but we need to account for the other half of the script, where the same numbers are negative. Just get 2 subtract blocks ready, and drop the ACX input and the max input onto the right-hand sides of each. And then, carefully to plug in the right ones, the negative ACX in the change block, and the negative max in the speed x greater than check. Yay! If we didn't make any mistakes, then that should now work just the same as before. No problems there? Excellent! So now we can try to make use of this movement code in our Mushroom Life power-up code too. Find the Define Tick Life script. This is responsible for all the collectible power-ups. The top part is to do with animating the sprouting of the power-up. So scroll down until you find the If Touching Mario. Here it is. So just before we do this check, put in our new general move block. The touching check can go right back in below it. This little mushroom wants to move really quickly, so set an acceleration of 3 and a max x of 1. I want them just to zoom off right away. Here we go. Hit the block, And it sprouts. And off it goes! Brilliant! Yes, that's how it should work. Okay, oh, but there's a problem. Yes, only the mushrooms are supposed to be rushing off, not these other power-ups, right? No problem. We just need to surround the general move block with an if check. And we'll check the costume root variable and make sure it's only equal to life. That should do it, don't you think? Fire power-up stays put. Great. And the mushroom? Whee! Off it goes. Fantastic. Okay though, hold on. Now we have movement. I can see another mistake. Did you know that the mushroom power-up should always rush off in the opposite direction to Mario? Mine is rushing off in the same direction that Mario is pointing. Find the define move enemy script and scroll down until you see the if bump index is equal to spawn index. This is where we bump a mystery block, and here is where we set our enemy's direction. We just want to flip this around, so set it to 0, subtract the direction of Mario instead. So if we face left before we bump this block, off goes the mushroom to the right. So cool. And now for something more exciting. Let's add the new Star Power power-up. Click into the tile sprite and look at the costumes. You'll find the star costume is at costume 46. There it is. Now, we don't need to change the tile keymap list as we already added a 9 in there earlier for item 46. But we do need to copy the costume into the enemy sprite, like so. Click into the enemy sprite. Right, to spawn the star power-up, find the define spawn type block. Now a tile type of 30 was our life power-up. We'll duplicate that if check just below, only switch it to look for costume 46. That's our star costume. And then this costume name, life, switch that for star. Great. Plug it all back together and run the project. We are going to need to enter the level editor and cycle through the enemy types with the 9 key. Here's the star. I'll drop it in the free gap between these other two power-ups. And gosh, while I'm at it, I'll remove these other tiles as they are always getting in my way. Goodbye, Koopa. Testing again. And there it is. Yeah, that's exciting to see. Now, we just need to think what should happen when we collect it. We'll need to find the tick life script again. Scroll down, and here is where we handle the collection of each power-up. If touching Mario, check the type of the power-up, and we do something. The first if is for the Fire Mario, so in the else side, we'll add another if-else check and compare the root costume with star. Okay then, so this broadcast wants to be in the else, as this is for when it's a mushroom type power-up. But if it is a star, then we will still broadcast a new message and name it Collect Star Power-Up. Nice. Okay, so how about we trigger something off this? Perhaps the star power music? For this, we need to click into the sound sprite, and the main game music loop is going off in here, but we will want to stop that and start up a new loop when the power-up is collected. But first, click into the sounds tab, open your backpack, and drag in the 2 backpack sounds. Did you think I'd forgotten? Right, back into the code tab. When I receive collect star power. Start by stopping the other scripts in this sprite. This will cut the music short. Nice. Now, before we begin the new music track, let's do something to let the game know star power is enabled. Make a new variable, naming it star power, and keep it for all sprites. Then we set star power to, 1,000. But it doesn't really matter at present. Any number larger than 0 will do. And then we'll play sound until done. That's important. And choose the star power theme. Oh yeah, this is going to be cool. Now, when the track finishes, I want a little warning jingle to let us know that the time is coming to an end. I don't think I have the right one, but if we play the level select sound, until done again, I think that sounds pretty fit for purpose. So pop that in right afterwards. Now, once the music stops, we can end the star power by setting star power back to the empty value, and finish off by starting the main music again using our music block. Great! Are you ready for this?
Just what I needed.
Now that is cool. Time to start dashing around the level, dealing out some sweet Goomba payback. But let's just hear it end and watch that our star power variable reporter gets reset. And there we
Just
go.
what I needed.
So, next up, we need to get Mario's flashing rainbow colours to show he's in his special mode. We'll need to click into the Mario sprite and find the Define Reset Player script. We should make sure to reset the new star power variable to 0 when the game begins. Don't forget that. And then find the Define Paint Sprite script. This is where we change Mario's costume. Now we want to trigger colour changes too. Bring in an if-else block, and we'll begin by looking for when star power is greater than 0. And the best way to cycle rainbow colours is with a change colour effect by, and a value of 10 seems to work well for me. In the else, this is when the star power is over, so use a set colour effect to block and set it to 0. That's pretty straightforward. Shall we just give that a test?
Just what I needed. Just what I needed.
Oh yes, psychedelic. Nice, right? But at present, this is really just shiny wrapping paper. What about the actual present? Making Mario invulnerable. Oh yeah! No problemo! Click into the enemy sprite once more and we'll search out the Define Tick Goomba script. Look for where we are checking for touching Mario. Now when we have star power, all enemies just flip out of our path, like they do when they get hit by a fireball. In which case, if star power is greater than 0, we simply use the flip block. Then make sure to stop this script, as this is the last thing we do this frame. Before we drop this in, I'm going to make a copy of the script, as we'll need to gain in a moment. Then drop it right in at the top under the touching Mario check. So that covers Goomba and Koopas, but we also need to handle the Piranha Plant. So find the Define Tick Piranha, and again, right after the touching Mario check, paste in the same star power check, flip, and stop this script blocks. There we go. So when you add new enemies, we need to ensure we add the code to handle star power too. Most enemies will be beaten by this, but enough talk, we should give this a test, right? I'll pop up the power-ups, and then we can see how the star power feels now. Take this, Goomba! Yes, it works perfectly. The Piranha. Oh yes, no problem. I wonder how long this will last. Scooting around the level now to take out as many Goombas as I can. Oh no! No, I ran out just as I touched this last Goomba, and that cost me my Super Mario status too. But no worries, this is a super mechanic and it's working so well. I just know you're gonna love getting this into your games. Right. In the last part of this video, let's fix up a few more little niggles that exist in the game. Firstly, the end of level lack of music. There's supposed to be a little end of level jingle here, and we never got around to adding it. That's, of course, in the sound sprite. We already have an event we can trigger off too, when I receive Mario level complete. So again, we stop other scripts in this sprite before playing sound until done, and choose the Course Clear jingle. That's all we needed. Don't believe me? Give it a test. Oh man, so much better. Now next up I have an interesting one for you. Did you know that when Mario stands right next to a piranha-infested pipe, the piranha is not supposed to come out any longer? The same is true for when you stand on top of it. Okay then, so we'll need some kind of proximity check. Click into the enemy sprite and look for the define tick piranha script. This is where we look for the piranha popping up. Yes, as they reach stage 4 of their temp variable. So what we'll do is insert a new if check for when the floor of temp is less than 4. That is, they haven't yet popped up. Now we should check how close Mario is to the pipe. If less than, and we'll want to be closer than, say, 45 pixels. That's a bit more than a tile, so we can be up against the pipe and it will trigger. To calculate the horizontal distance, we'll use an abs, that's the absolute, with a subtract, and we want the distance between this piranha's x variable and not the x position, but the x variable of the player sprite. So if the distance is less than 45, then we set frame back to 1. This holds the piranha in the pipe until we are no longer too close by. Let's test that again. So firstly, you'll notice the enemy can be out of the pipe when we get close. Aha! You'll note a distinct lack of piranha. If I move a little away, I hope... Yes, there they are. Super! Last check is to jump on top and just wait a moment. Looking great! So, what else remains unfixed, I hear you ask?
Just what I needed.
How about this little gem? You must have seen this one. If I obtain the Fireball power-up, did you know that you can blast away the other power-ups? Yes, look! This one is just too funny, and that's not the best of them. You can also blast away the end of level box. Yeah, that really is messed up. Oh, so funny. Look, hilarious, yes, but we should really fix this one too. This isn't quite so simple though. Well, it is and it isn't. Find the when I receive player after enemy. This is where all enemies get flipped by killer enemies, like Koopa shells or fireballs. But you'll note enemies that are already flipped are excluded from being flipped. Well, we can extend this list of unaffected types. The fastest way is to use a contains block, with the type on the right, and then on the left, write flip, as before, but to add more, just add a space, and then life, and also a space and end box. That's end box as one word. So long term, this may not be the best way to do it, as the list of types will get longer and longer, but I don't think it'll be a problem right now. Let's see how that holds up. Grab the fire flower and try blasting the level end. Oh man, it's fixed. What a shame, right? Next up, shooting another power-up. Nope, these are invulnerable too. But this does show up the single flaw to this approach, and that is that these power-ups are blocking the passageway of the fireballs. This is a bit of a shame, as it would be nice if they just passed on through, but the way we have things set up, that's getting a little too tricky to sort out without a lot more work, so I think we'll just have to be happy with what we've got here. It's not so bad, right? Hey, hold on a second, did you see that? That mushroom power-up just went and slid behind a jump-through platform. Oh gosh, that is only happening since we allowed them to move. Fix one thing, break another, right? I think this should have an easy fix though. If we find the define tick life script in the enemy sprite. So here, when the frame is less than 48, the power-up is sprouting upwards, at which point it is behind the other sprites so that it appears from behind them. So last thing, as it sprouts, we need to bring it to the front. If frame equals 47, that's one before 48, pop in a go to front block. And this can go in here, last thing when frame is still less than 48. I think that will sort this out. Hold on. Here we go. There, perfect. The mushroom is nicely in front of the background blocks now. Phew. Well, here we are, the end of another episode. The next step for this tutorial would be to add more enemy types, but more important, working warp pipes. I would so love to have these, but the problem we face is that this tutorial series didn't start out intending to be a Mario clone, so the level grid system we used was not designed to easily fit this purpose. What are we going to do about that then? Anyhow, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more Mario, then you must smash the like button and comment under the video to give it your support. Do subscribe to this channel so as not to miss the next exciting video. I expect it will be either the next episode of our Raycaster or something completely different. Who knows? I don't. Yet. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a great week ahead and scratch on, guys.